Okay, sorry about that. It cut me off. I didn't have enough time. So we're going to pick up where we left off. I was talking about building a network of people to mentor students, maybe on the weekends or after school, some sort of a program. Working with school counselors and teachers, I need to identify needs and address issues before they become a problem like this. So I'm going to evaluate between option 1 and option 2. Option 1 was following the board policy exactly, sending both boys to the DAEP for at least 45 days. The pro, I don't get a reprimand. The cons, we lose our integrity. David's treated unfairly. It damages my relationships with both boys. I talked about how it will affect other students, that they will lose respect for us. They will not feel that they can trust us to do what's ethical and fair. The kids that, like James's group of friends, are going to see that they can get away with things. They're going to see that it doesn't matter to stand up and admit what you did wrong to keep someone else from getting out of trouble who was innocent. So lots of cons there. Option number 2, this is where I send James to the DAEP program, and I put give David a more appropriate consequence because he didn't fess up right away, but I don't know that he really, I think he's had enough consequences. He's upset, and maybe some kind of programs that can help him and other kids like him to deal with bullying would be a good thing to implement. The pros, each student gets what's appropriate for them. The cons, I might still receive a reprimand. So I chose to collaborate with the school board and James's and David's parents and everyone involved to find and implement appropriate measures to help both of these students. Under the circumstances, I would be making the most beneficial choice by including all stakeholders in the decision. If it's not feasible to meet with the school board, then I will just be sure to communicate with them via email or however we can communicate. In order to implement my decision, I will need to find resources and programs to help. So after collaborating with all the stakeholders, we've decided that James will go to the DAEP for the rest of the school year. Because James had a plan to use the brass knuckles after school, we agreed that it was important to remove him from our school community. We just can't have that. So the district attorney's office will decide if James will be charged with a crime. If he's charged, he will be appointed a youth advocate who will get him some help. Myself and other school staff might have to testify in court. Implementing my decision. I met with our SRO and our school counselors to identify at-risk youth. I reached out to community leaders, one in particular who's involved with the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. He agreed to find mentors for these students. I contacted the parents of these youth, and all but 2 have agreed to support their children's involvement in this program. So by implementing this plan, I'm using my understanding and capacity to undertake and implement cultivating ethical behaviors in others within the school setting. We'll need to notify local law enforcement, our SRO, school administration, any campus monitors, that James is not supposed to be on campus. He should be at the alternative school, or maybe at a detention center, but if he shows up on campus, we will need to notify law enforcement. James's parents will need to know the plan for James, obviously. David's parents need to know that James will not be back at school, so they can feel safe sending David to school. In order to implement my plan, I need to reach out to all sorts of people, the school board, the parents, teachers, school counselors, community leaders. My plan B, if James is not charged and gets out of the detention center, he still won't be back on our campus. If for some reason he does come back, we will have to get law enforcement to remove him. James should get the help he needs while he's at the alternative program or at the juvenile detention center. When he gets out, we can address his ability to come back to school. Here's my references and my addendum. This assignment did give me a new perspective on ethics and morals in the educational environment. There's so many different moving parts to think about. I can see now how I will need to follow guidelines for ethical and legal decision making. I gained insight from this assignment that gave me the ability to evaluate ethical decisions and communicate a plan to advocate for ethical policies. I'm now ready to formulate a school-level ethical leadership platform, model ethical frameworks, and cultivate ethical behaviors in others. This assignment was very interesting, and it gave me a lot of insight. Thank you.